How do we adapt to wearing these regularly? So you may be someone in an industry that needs to wear this mask regularly, and how do you adapt to it? Because if you don't adapt to it well, you're going to have some health problems out of it. And we won't be debating on this video whether we should be wearing them or not, but for some industries it's absolutely necessary right now. So let's talk about how to adapt and keep ourselves healthy with those. So one of the things that I'm observing in considering health in our hidden model, which stands for hormones, immune strength, detoxification, efficiency, and neurological connection, well, detoxification efficiency is lost. When we have this here, we're not getting as good of air exchange. We're having a lot of moisture up against the fabric, and we're seeing mold type responses in the body. One of the ways that our bodies detoxify is by our breath, as well as many other ways. So we're seeing the whole detoxification systems back up, and we're seeing people's lymphatics get congested. And I'm actually doing this video while I'm doing a detox foot bath, an Ionic foot bath. So if you want to learn more about that, watch our video on foot bath help or hoax. It's actually our most popular video on YouTube with, I think, around 40,000 views. So I'm doing that to ramp up my detoxification efficiency because it's sluggish right now from wearing this all day. And a couple other things that we're doing in our office is we're using homeopathics like this drainage tone from Energetics. And we may use a homeopathic called Mycocancord, which is for mold toxicity as well. If we're out of that at the moment, but we've got it arriving in a couple days, so we may also use that. We're using homeopathics, which help our systems pay attention to different things better and activate different pathways better, so it helps activate our detoxification pathways. So this drainage tone right now from Energetics is really helpful to speed up my detoxification pathways. Now, if we get enough overwhelmed by this poor detoxification pathway, it's going to spill over to our nervous system, and we're going to have our nervous system reset. If you're a patient of another chiropractor, you may simply need an adjustment. If you're a patient in ours, we're going to go to the brain first and unlock the brain and help people process this inflammation better and be able to deal with it better. Especially, we're seeing the reflex points show up for environmental mold. Again, you've got a lot of moisture at this fabric, and if you're wearing the thing 8 hours a day like we are, then it's almost like a mold response to the body. It may not be classic mold, you may not see mold on the inside of this, but it's a mold response to the body because it's not meant to be in a damp environment there. The next thing we want to look at is tissue oxygenation. We know that we're breathing in more carbon dioxide because we've just let that off in our breathing out. And one of the things that we're doing in our office for our staff is using this Cataplex E2 by Standard Process. This Cataplex E2 is a special fraction of the vitamin E, of the whole picture in vitamin E. It's part of it that helps with tissue oxygenation. It helps the body be more efficient at getting oxygen into the tissues. So that's a big deal right now. And so each of our staff are taking 2 in the morning and 2 at the end of the day to help our tissue oxygenation. The next thing is our posture, and that also relates to chiropractic. As we become, I try to breathe through my nose mostly with this, but when you're talking to people and other things, you end up being a mouth breather wearing these masks at least part of the time. And so the more that we're a mouth breather, the more our head tends to go forward, and we have to keep our posture good so that these muscles here that control our chest and control the lifting of our chest, also they can all work right, because if we're like this, we're going to get poor breath, right? But if we're like this, we're going to get a better breath. So posture is a big deal, and your chiropractor can help you with that also. Now, Another thing that people aren't thinking about, as we become a mouth breather with this, we are getting more sympathetic nervous system dominance. So we're getting more into fight or flight, even if we don't intend to. And we're going to get more into fight or flight through less oxygenation as well. So there we want to do our hummingbird exercise more. And I've been lacking on that myself this week, but I'm going to get it back on it and do it multiple times a day. And we'll have our staff do it multiple times a day also, so that we can have good balance between our sympathetic nervous system, our fight or flight responses, which all hunker us over, and that's not going to be as good for our breathing. And so we're going to go into our hummingbird exercise, and we've got a whole video on that. It's got about 400 or 500 views on YouTube right now. So I won't cover that, but look for that video, the hummingbird exercise. So that's going to help with the sympathetic dominance. And another thing we're doing, just at least periodically a couple times a week, and not everybody has the ability to do this, but if you do, it's pulsed electromagnetic field therapy, or PEMF therapy, and that restores the charge to the cells, and it's like CPR for the cells using magnetic pulses. It gets more nutrients into the cell, more toxins back out, so it's going to help the detoxification pathways both at a cellular level and a bigger level in terms of the lymphatics and drainage areas in our body. So those are some of the ways that we're adapting to wearing this mask, because you might be in a profession like we are right now in healthcare that you have to wear this a lot of hours a day. Now, some people have been in healthcare for years and been in parts of healthcare where they've had to wear a mask. They may be more adapted to it, but we're not. And right now, people in restaurants and many other places and industries are having to wear these regularly. But if you're starting to notice some health problems, or you have a coworker that's starting to notice some health problems, then have them watch this video. There's certain things they may be able to do at home, and there's certain things they can get a hold of us and we can help them. And of course, if they need to come in the office, we can help them at an even higher level. So think about those things when you're wearing these masks regularly, and learn how to protect your health and adapt through this. And at some point things will shift and it won't be necessary like it is now. But for now, let's adapt to it and let's be as healthy as possible, and watch those other videos on the hummingbird exercise, or some of the videos that we have on toxicity and on the foot bath helper hoax. I'm Dr. Michael Winters, Winters Wellness, Chiropractic Redefined.